We're back. What's the story with this one, Clayton?
Nothing good.
No, so this one we have, I mean, maybe this will be at the beginning of the video, I don't know. We have lots of footage of it when it first came here. This was built by somebody else. Unfortunately, it sold to the new owner. Actually, there's another new owner now. I'll get to that in a second. But shortly after this guy purchased it, the engine failed like within 24 hours of him owning it. So he brought it in for me to diagnose it. The oil pump failed and basically took out the engine.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that was good.
Smash me in the face. You ready to see chunks of metal? Well,
shiny
not chunks,
glimmer.
but shiny metal.
The man glitter in the oil.
I don't like glitter on women, let alone engines.
It's had a fresh oil change before.
Oh yeah,
See them? I can see them from this
that
light.
looks like some bearing.
See it all. There's no major that was a good one. There's no major chunks in it from the initial looking, but it also looks like the oil was changed recently. So it looks like we have some bearing failure.
Well,
Look how pretty it looks. It looks like those. When I say pretty, I was
pretty shitty.
pretty shitty. Yeah. They pop on my Instagram feed all the time where people put like pigment into like epoxy and they're mixing it up.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There's your mixture of silver and oil. There's where all the metal is.
Oh my god. Wow.
Yeah. So this one
So it needs some bearings.
ate some bearings. So I don't know. We might pull a bearing or two off and take a look at the crank, but this thing could be just toast altogether. Looking at that, especially where the oil looks clean. I don't think this is round one of this. I mean, I don't know why I'm using a ratchet. I should just be using a gun.
Yeah, at this point it doesn't matter. It's okay, I can speed this up.
Oh, the cap already came loose, I think. Yep.
It doesn't look nice. Is there a bearing even there?
Nope. Still here.
Oh.
Clayton, you buzzing?
A little bit. Did it spin?
Shine the light up in there. Look at it though, like it's paste. It's that anti-seize kind of stuff.
Did somebody put RTV on those?
Yeah.
Oh.
The bearing's there. It's just not coming out.
Yeah.
It's part of the crank now.
Yeah. Not
Not performance?
not performance, as Robbie would say. Yeah, that's not.
I mean, the fact that it has paste for oil, for lubrication.
Is that just polishing it, or?
Well, it might have been at first, and then it got a little raw. It didn't have enough lube. It got a little raw.
It's rubbed right raw.
Rubbed raw. Okay, well,
All right, well, let's fire it up.
yeah, we'll put the pan back on it and talk to the client, the owner of it, and see what he wants to do, because this one is pooched.
Yeah, we're kind of chuckling about this, but this isn't really anything to.
It's not a good time.
We chuckled at.
Considering the guy who bought the car. I don't know if I said this already because we weren't really filming to make this a video, but the guy who bought the car didn't even own it for 24 hours, and this happened. So it's super unfortunate, but stuff happens. So if we're gonna get to swap another engine into it, then we'll go through. We've seen a bunch of stuff that is a little bit of a hazard or just not quite what we would do. We'll address those as we come about it. But at this point, the guy just bought the car and this happened, so
Who knows what
he
else
may
to
just
do.
abandon this altogether. We'll find out soon. All right, well,
On that note,
on that note, we're gonna put the pan back together.
did,
Show a little bit more. Oh yeah, that
yeah, that's
this. So
that's
yeah,
broken.
but this, it's impossible to say for certain what actually happened. But taking it all apart, this had seized, broke this, and which provided no oil to the head. And anyways, it's just a
Yeah, it's like the chicken.
snowball effect.
Well, it's like the chicken or the egg type of scenario. Like what happened first? Obviously, the pump has
The pump is
failed.
part of the problem.
Yeah, for sure.
In there.
Yeah, it
seems
cries, it leaks out the blowhole.
So this might have a few other issues than what we were thinking. So good thing the engine's coming out and something else going in.
That's
Another
fine.
VR.
Yeah, another VR, yeah. Okay, back to this mess. The diff is, everything's gonna clear on that side, yeah. Yeah, I'd say.
So
what do I need to do?
Come my way. I must say again, we did not build this car, and we did not put any green coolant in this.
Yeah.
None of this is us. We're just taking it out.
Swamp cool. Alright, go up. Every time I do this, Ben, I zip tie these out of the way. Yeah. So, we are ready, Freddy. But we're about to be. Okay.
It's good.
With JB Weld or what?
Yeah, JBL. It's good for boost. Boost certified.
Okay.
Along with the coolant thread hole. Yeah, pretty cool. Speed hole. Yeah, lots of silicone on there, and that fixes everything, including all of the crack pipe. Apparently not everything. When all else fails, put.
Sealing on everything. Okay, so let's move over the lead, get it cleaned up, and start tearing it apart. Well, not tonight. We're not tearing it apart tonight.
It's the magic of TV. Just snap
Well,
our fingers and it's
yeah.
done.
Okay, so the VR is back together after countless hours of gapping the rings and doing all the bearing stuff and everything needed for it. So it's time to get the Headspacer on and get the new oil pump in and all the other stuff to go along with it and get it back in the car so we can finally get it on the dyno. I gotta clean the head up and stuff, but this is just a stock motor with Headspacer, AirP rod bolts, and AirP head studs. Everything else is stock on it. So, aside from the turbo, of course. So, back to it, and I don't know what. So, put another engine in it, fixed up some of the stuff that were known to be a problem with it, and there's a pretty big slew of things, but we worked through the major stuff. And it's now on the dyno to get see what it can make for power. So we're not going to push it. It's on a United Motorsport tune, straight 91, no water meth, nothing like that. And it's just a Headspacer motor with a GT35. So Clayton, what am I forgetting? I know this is our second take on this, but what?
Well, I kind of zoned out because I was paying attention to the audio
Focus?
levels on this.
Okay.
So, did you talk about why it failed the first time?
Yep, the oil pump. Actually, we found out that the pan had been smacked, which basically flattened itself out into the oil pump, which starved it eventually, and that's why I took it out.
And then once we got digging into it, RTV was like everywhere on every
yeah, there was,
gasket.
again, I was kind of
There's a hole
mentioning
in the
that.
head,
There's
coolant.
a slew of little things that are kind of set up wrong or just not done the way that we would do it here. But like I said, we've worked through most of the bigger issues and we're ready to chuck it on the dyno and see what it can make for power. So you can see inside here, we got the classic wired the stereo wrong.
Yep.
We had to disconnect the stereo to even be able to connect to it with VEGCOM.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, and we have a Innovate 2-in-1 boost controller wideband in it. So, as I mentioned, it's a United Motorsport tune. We're not going to be able to do a whole lot with the tune. We're just going to keep an eye on boost, keep an eye on detonation, and see how much boost we can throw at it. Typically, these are like 14, 15 pounds with 91, like kind of what we have. But again, this is an old build that has lived a very hard life. So even though the engine is new, there's still turbos lived a hard life.
New, refreshed, I guess.
Yeah, refreshed. Yeah. So I think we're pretty much ready. Okay, so we're gonna try the first run just on the wastegate spring, no boost, and we'll just take a look at what it's doing. So how much boost did it make, Clayton? 6.5 pounds. I let out early. It made a peak of 6.5 pounds.
So that's pretty much where you thought it was, 7-pound wastegate spring.
Yeah.
So it's normal.
I did 227. So it was still making a little bit of power. So we'll probably just try to rev this one out next time.
So another pull on gate.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at the logs and make sure. You can't run late anyways, it's already 8 o'clock.
We'll turn it up.
Turn it up!
Turn it up.
Okay, so safety run, 227. It said 6.5 is a peak. Here, I think on the dyno it shows 6.2, so around there. I did cut it short on the RPM a little bit, so this one we're going to just do the exact same run. Boost controller turned off on the gate, and I'm just going to rev it out a little further.
Alright.
Ready, Freddie?
Yep.
Alright, starting a new log here because the last one I had to dig for it. So let's see what we can do here. Car died. Doesn't like that. So basically the same horsepower though. 225.
Yep.
I didn't really get to rev it out any further because it seemed to cut.
Like you did.
What?
It sounded like it revved out more.
Yeah, but I could hear it cut just exactly what you see in the dyno graph there.
If it is a 35R, it is a good sized turbo.
Well, again, we didn't build it, so it's what it's claimed to be. So this is Clayton. This is, as I mentioned probably earlier in the video, the person that bought it. The engine failed shortly after he bought it. Then we did a bunch of work to fix it, and then he sold it to his buddy, who's now brought it back for me to try to clean up some of the stuff and actually get it on the dyno to see if it can make any horsepower. So this has changed multiple hands.
And I think you were saying during our video that we did, the recap video, that you didn't even really want this car to leave the first time. Kind of wanted to finish it.
Yeah,
and get
it
to this
left
point.
and it should never have seen any boost or anything, but it did. Luckily, so far, it's handling itself on the dyno. But yeah, I get it. It was just a situation where cars are money pits sometimes, and when you're buying somebody else's used vehicle that, you know, corners were cut in some cases, it just gets to that point it costs to fix those problems. So
you just never know.
yeah, so we're gonna do what we can with it. and hopefully, I mean, we're still on the gate, so we still got lots of boost to throw at it. But the fuel R91 is definitely not going to help the situation. But
And let's be honest, winter 91 isn't even the same as summer 91.
yeah, so I may, before the very end, if we're seeing knock problems, I may swap out the gas because the gas has been in this for a bit.
Yeah.
I talked to him today about it. So anyways, we'll get to that point, but that's going to be the end of this for tonight because it's already 8 o'clock
Oh, we're
here.
done.
Yeah, so we'll continue. You guys will see because it's just all in the same video.
Might
But
be a change of clothing and maybe.
yeah, maybe, if you're lucky. Okay, so on that note, we'll see you in 2 seconds.
It's back on the dyno.
Yep, for
Again.
this is the third time I think now. So we had it on, we had some problems we did a couple runs as you would have seen in the video already. We had some problems with O2 sensor and NOx sensor. So we took it off the dyno, found some more problems, fixed those. Thought we fixed those actually, put it back on the dyno, made one run. Realized that the problem wasn't resolved. Took it back off the dyno. We think we got it hammered out. So we're ready to try for some more runs. Hopefully we got it this time, and we're obviously just letting it warm up, as always, to make sure that it's ready for abuse. But this is kind of the stuff that goes into dynoing these cars and trying to make horsepower, especially on a build that's been kicking around for a long time. There's going to be lots of little things. We found some wiring issues with the NOx sensor. I think Clayton added a picture in about the crank sensor earlier, but here's a picture of the NOx sensor wiring. And we got that all fixed, so now we're going to try to do another base run with the boost controller turned off, which is around 6 to 7 pounds, and then we'll start throwing some boost at it.
Sweet.
Let's do it. All right, GoPro, we meet again. Let's tilt your wobbly head there. Okay, we're ready to do a run on this thing. See if we fix some of the problems.
Yeah, it made more.
Yeah. So
It did pretty much exactly what you wanted.
yeah.
Like, honestly.
Yeah, it made 30 wheel horsepower more than what we were at. So it's right where it kind of should be now.
Doing what it should.
Yeah, so 244 that time. And the boost.
Boost not work? Or it's not displayed?
It's not displayed. Might have made a little bit more boost that time, but this is looking a little more promising. So I'm just going to look at the log and then we'll see if we can throw some more boost at it. Okay, now we play the game of
Turning it up in boost cut?
getting a hold of the boost control. So we want right now I only want a few more pounds of boost, so I can monitor everything. Car died. It didn't make 300. And I don't know what it made for boost. 10 pounds?
10 pounds. Sounded like a weird hesitation.
Yeah, it was laggy. Yeah, they got to do with the spring setting. I gotta adjust that. You see it in the graph, yeah.
Right there. Another adjustment and another run.
Yeah, we're gonna try to make the boost do the boosting thing and not be laggy.
That's better. That spike's gone now.
Spike's gone, yeah. It just didn't make as much boost as the one before that. That's all.
It's good though.
It only made like 9 pounds that time.
I'd say that setting's pretty much where you want to be.
Yeah, looking at that,
Yeah.
made like probably 40 more torque at 3,700 RPM. All right, Clayton. So highest so far was 293, which was like right around 10 pounds. I turned it up a couple more notches, see if we can get over the 300, and
Did you change boost cut? You're leaving that.
I'm gonna leave that for now. $312 that time.
Boost.
Boost is like 12 and a half pounds. That's
Pretty good.
peak boost,
Yep.
12 and a half pounds. So. We might get to the 350. Like at 14, 15 pounds. It's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Seems like it's on the right.
It's on the right
route.
trajectory.
Yeah. Trajectory. No.
Tra- I don't
What?
know. Trajectory?
No. Trajectory.
I don't know. We don't know.
It's words.
We don't know. So I'm gonna just take a look at the timing, see what it's doing, and we'll reassess for the next run.
Another run tonight, or it's getting late, but
I'm gonna look at this and make the call.
All right.
I'm gonna say probably not.
Probably.
So maybe a costume change again? Click.
Did you actually do a costume change, or are you still scuzzy?
No.
Same clothes.
Clean shirt, dirty pants, dirty gloves. So we fixed hopefully another problem, and we're ready for another attempt. I'm not changing the boost. The last run it did, which was like a day or two ago, it did 312, I think. So we're gonna leave the boost to where it was. Hopefully this sensor change has fixed one of the problems we're chasing, and then we can look at turning the boost up a little bit more. We need some more RPM. That's our problem right now. So, are we ready, Clay?
I'm ready.
Alright, let's do it. What happened there? Here's some looking.
Did it hit boost cut?
Maybe, actually. Yes.
Yep.
Well, it was making power. It did 320 before it hit the cut. And I think one of our knock sensor problems may be fixed.
Sweet.
But I didn't really get to rev it out, so I can't say 100%.
Turn the boost down a couple percent.
I'll look at the log, and I might just turn the boost cut up.
Just turn the boost cut off.
Up.
Fired off.
Not off.
It wasn't going.
No, it wasn't going to the moon or anything like
No.
that. So we hit boost cut on the last one, so we're gonna try again. But it looks like we may have fixed the problem. So this might be it. We'll see what it makes for power, and because I don't want to go too much higher on boost. But if this gets a good clean pull to the end, then we'll be able to ship it.
So this is leaving it here around 15 pounds, 14 pounds.
15 pounds is like kind of where I want to end, like tops. And it just clipped boost cut at 14.2 pounds last time. So a little RPM and stuff. We'll see where we end up.
It seems to be right on track where it should be. So
Basically, yeah.
so far, knock on everything.
Knock on wood. All right, let's do it.
Hit boost cut again?
Nope, another cut.
Scared me.
What scared you?
The pop.
Yeah, something's wrong. Say fuel pump or injector.
Sweet. Yeah, one more. We're done. It's just a couple bolts.
4 bolts.
Yeah, just 4 volts.
It's going like ridiculously lean.
Awesome.
I'm gonna look at the log, see if I can.
It's gonna be another costume change with this video, or what?
Probably, yeah.
Getting a bit much.
Probably, yeah. Oh, the life of tuning cars. We'll take a look at some stuff, make sure nothing's died, and reassess.
I like how you're smiling, but
Deep down, I'm like frustrated.
I should have said anything, honestly.
Yeah, I think. Well, what did I say? I think we were probably gonna be like one and done after we fix the problem.
like knock on everything and.
Yeah. So as we've described in the video, this car never known to really work properly. It had problems. It's been sold a bunch of times. We're trying to hammer through the problems. The other night we made, Clayton, you can show them, 312. This is on 91. At around 12 pounds of boost. I think the highest it made, 12.6 is the peak, but
peak, yeah.
peak. But most of it's like 11 and a half, 12 pounds of boost. We were having a problem with the NOx sensors and RPM cutting out at 6,000, and it really should rev to 7. So I did some more digging. We found another problem. We believed, based on the data from the ECU, that we fixed the problem. And then the next pull we did, which was the first one today, it made 320, but as you can see, we clipped boost cut, which I had set at like 14 pounds, and we made like 14.7 pounds. It made 320. So
That's what happens when you hit boost cut.
that's what happens when you hit boost cut. Great. We're on the right track. It's making more power. It's doing the things it should. The next run we did, we hit here. It did 240 because at like 4,300 RPM, it hit a fuel cut. What's the problem, Clayton?
Well, that's the issue. We don't know.
We
Could
don't
be
know.
Multiple things. Could be injector issue. Could be fuel pump. Could be fuel filter.
So we did one more to make sure that it wasn't a fuel correction thing. Anyways, I played around with some settings. Did one more run just to like 4,200 just to confirm 100% it's going lean now. So just like Clayton said, there's on this car, I don't set them up like this typically, but this car has an in-tank pump and then an in-line pump in the engine bay, which is wired separately. That's its own problem. But so it's either one of the two pumps or the regulator or the injectors.
Well, really, it shouldn't be the in-tank pump that's completely.
It could be if it's starting, it's not keeping up.
Yeah.
Right? Because that one's not going to pull it.
That's right.
So now we're just going to chat with the customer and see where he wants to head from here, because we're going to need to get the injectors tested. We'll check fuel pressure, potentially change out the pump. So on that note, instead of dragging this video on and on and on and on, because we're going to have this car on and off the dyno probably a few more times, we'll leave you guys hanging with this one.
No more costume change? No?
Not for this video, no more costume change. So we're at 320 at like 14 pounds, 13 pounds probably.
But that's without revving it out.
And that's without revving it out. So it probably was heading towards the 350 range is kind of where it should be at that boost level on this fuel. But we got some other things that we got to work through beforehand. So hopefully we can bring this car back to life and make the power that it deserves. So on that note, Clayton, what are we forgetting? This is a perfect example of how it goes with the dyno, right?
Yep.
People don't see everything that goes in behind the scenes to make power, and this
all the
also
little issues that pop up.
all the little issues. And to your point, why we're actually filming this part, this stuff, it's way easier to manage in an environment like this. We have multiple sets of eyes, I have lots of things connected to the car, I'm logging. Trying to do this stuff on the street, this probably would have grenaded, to be honest, because you wouldn't know until it was too late. So it's a perfect environment, especially with a car that's had some problems in the past, to try to make the power so we can monitor as much as we can.
As safely as possible.
As safely as possible, yeah. So we appreciate everybody for subscribing.
First video of the new year.
First video of the new year. You were supposed to do a
Yeah,
a blooper video. What happened to that, Clayton?
I don't know.
You're still hungover from the Christmas video?
No. No.
For those that haven't watched the Christmas video, the year end,
Yeah,
just skip to the very end.
like the last 15 minutes.
Not even. Probably the last 5 minutes. If you watch it, you can see Clayton tanking. So on that note, be sure to like and subscribe. We got lots more stuff coming, and we'll see you in the next video.